Hello, guys. This is a new episode of your Brazil Unsubtitled podcast. This is episode number 4. Um, This is Mark Saint. For those who don't know, we have a podcast every week. They happen on Fridays at 7 p.m. Brasilia time. But we are also a YouTube channel. I have a channel called Brazil Unsubtitled. And I like to say that it's your channel for you to get to know all you ever wanted to know about Brazil, but inside the English language. My idea is why Brazil and subtitled. It's a channel for you to be able to learn about Brazil without having to recover to the Portuguese language. If you want to learn Portuguese, even better. But if you are an English speaker and you want to learn about my country, you are more than welcome to this channel. I have the pleasure this week on the podcast this week to talk about one event that is kind of controversial. It was like a breaking news this week, and I'm talking about the fact that Brazil is going to host Copa America again. And then you can say, "Oh, that's good, right?" But remember, we are going through uh, the worst pandemic this country has ever been to, or at least in the modern times, the times that we can remember of. The number of deaths in Brazil every 24 hours is ranging 1,000, 1,200. 2 months ago, we were having 3 to 4,000 deaths per day, which is terrible. So this piece of news has generated a lot of controversy. People have been expressing themselves for and against the hosting of such a championship in Brazil right now under those circumstances. Well, I'm not an expert in soccer. I'm just a curious guy who likes to talk about everything. But to help me, I have a special surprise today. I have the presence of a friend of mine. His name is Toni Moreno. He is from Manchester, England. He was born in Scotland, but he lives in Manchester today with his family. And he was in episode number 4. So if you follow the podcast, you know who I'm talking about. So Tony, are you there?
I'm here, Mark. Thank you for having me again.
It's a pleasure, man. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing perfectly well.
And how's the weather in Manchester right now? Is it raining?
It, Surprisingly, Mark, we have clear blue skies and the sun is out, so I think everybody here is in a good mood for a change.
That's good, man. That's you guys are just copying Brazil, I believe.
Of course, it's the only thing that we have to do is copy Brazil. It's just a pleasure to aspire to be Brazilian. So if I can take the weather, that's a good start.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So, Tony, how you were the one who let me know about this big breaking news of the week, right? With Brazil hosting um, Copa America again. I say again because we had one in 2018, right, Tony?
Um, yeah, the last Copa America, I think it took place in 2019.
It's 2019. Sorry. I said 18, but
Yeah,
it was 2019.
yeah,
Exactly. It was in
2019, and
and Brazil was the champion.
Brazil were definitely the champions. What a great
Yes.
tournament it was.
Yeah, it was. I went to the third place match between Argentina and Chile. If you guys are following this podcast, I have a video right here on the card. Just click on it, and you're gonna be able to watch this. I was there. And Tony, this year, this tournament was supposed to be held in Argentina and
Yeah,
Colombia,
that's
right?
right. It was being hosted by both countries, um,
Uh-huh.
but then a decision was made by the South American Football Association because
Mm.
of some problems in Colombia. that it
Uh,
would be hosted by Argentina. But
so for those who are unaware of the situation, what is happening in Colombia is like a political unrest right now.
sure,
So just like in Chile, like a couple of years ago, I think even last year, there was a big political unrest, a change of government. So the same was taking place in Colombia, and the organizers, the people responsible for Copa America, I think Comebol,
sure.
didn't think it was a good idea to host there because of the players' security, right? Right, Tony?
That's yeah, that's exactly right. And obviously, if there was going to be any people um, from the teams, all the extra players, the staff, everybody, just for everybody's safety.
Hmm. Exactly. You cannot host a championship in the middle of a political unrest. That is just crazy. And in Argentina, what's going on exactly is the pandemic. Argentina is in a lockdown right now. They started, I
Right.
guess, a couple of weeks ago because they wanted to stop the spreading of the virus because it was growing too fast and too strong. And so they considered Brazil as the possibility, and President Jair Bolsonaro, the president of Brazil, accepted it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And Tony, what is your opinion about? I mean, have you been following the news here in Brazil
I've been
after
keeping
they
up.
announced?
I've been keeping up to date with a little bit, but it's not been. There's not been too much information over here.
Hmm.
But I'm aware that there's arguments for the competition, and there's also arguments against having the
You
competition.
have seen some of them.
Yeah, yeah.
What did you see for with the arguments for the? I mean, against the competition. What did you see?
I think the main sort of worry is that people don't want more visitors coming into the country. There's a risk of transmitting the virus, because
Mm.
when there's major tournaments, people will take chances and they will travel to the country where the tournament's being played. And obviously, there's a risk
You,
of spreading
when
the
you say,
virus.
but when you say people, are you talking about foreigners? You're talking about Brazilians specifically.
I'm talking about the people from the other countries in South America.
Ah, from the
The
other squads, right? Like
Yeah,
Argentinians,
so
Colombians, and stuff.
correct, yeah. But also,
Mm.
again, with the Brazilian football fans, they will want to congregate because I know it's always very popular to, even recently with all the tournaments going on, with the state championships, people have been gathering around the stadiums when their teams
Yes,
have come to the
man,
finals and
you've said it all, man.
yeah,
That's the big problem. Like when São Paulo played Palmeiras for the final of Campeonato Paulista, the
yeah,
São Paulinos they gathered outside Morumbi, and it was a big crowd because we're talking about the fans that are used to going to stadiums, right?
yeah, that's right. And that's exactly the same thing that happened with the game for Flamengo against Fluminense. Fans went to the
Mm.
Maracanã uh,
Hmm.
to stay outside the stadium, and then
Hmm.
it just causes problems. And the best thing to do is for people to stay as safe as possible.
Yeah. Well, yes, I agree with everything about what they're saying, but I have to say something to you. Like before they decided on hosting this tournament, we were having the Brazilian Championship, and it was happening without the public inside the stadiums, right?
That's right.
And nobody was saying anything, you know. Nobody was saying anything about it. Like people were coming, people were. I mean, the games were being held normally, and nobody was saying anything about it. So what the
Yeah.
president said, and I'm just reporting here, not giving my opinion, but what the president said was that if the games took place like the Campeonato Brasileiro is taking place and Libertadores is also taking place, there is no problem. I don't know if they have a system of testing the foreign players before they come in. I believe they do. I believe they are testing one by one
Yeah.
the delegation of these clubs. So the same is probably going to happen with the Colombians, the Ecuadorians, and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope so. I mean, I'm aware that um, here in Europe, the players get tested every day. Uh,
Mm.
especially when they're traveling to different countries for the European Championships. They have been doing
Mm-hmm.
testing on a daily basis. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Recently, there's some internationals take place. The Scotland team um, have had some players that tested positive, so they will be testing them on a daily basis to check if
Mm.
they're able to continue on to the European Championship, which start next week also.
Okay. Well, this is the minimum the organization can do, right? Of every
That's right.
championship. This is the minimum. So I usually disagree with everything Bolsonaro says, but this thing I think it's clear for me. Look, if we are already holding a championship in the country right now, so what is the difference between hosting Libertadores games and hosting Copa America, right?
It's a very good question because we went from the end of the Campeonato Brasileiro. We went
Mm-hmm.
straight into. I think there was maybe 1 week break before the
Mm-hmm.
state championships started,
Okay.
um, and then the Libertadores game started. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and, then we started straight into the Campeonato Brasileiro again, and there's been
Mm-hmm.
no rest. Um, it's a valid point. If
Mm-hmm.
people are unhappy about the Copa America taking place in Brazil, then they have to ask the question, what's different from this and the other
And
games
what's
that
going
are
on?
already taking place?
Exactly.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Because the way I see it, man, that's my opinion. You probably remember when this freaking virus took control of the world in March 2020.
Yeah,
It was bizarre to turn on the TV and watch games from 1994, for example. For a second, I had the impression the world was coming to an end because even the television had nothing. For the first time in Brazil, a novela from Globo, a soap opera, was halted. I'm
yeah.
40 years old, Tony. I don't remember one single month there was not a soap opera on television.
Yeah, it's just a situation that I don't think anybody's experienced before. Anything like this.
Never. We never saw that coming, man. We definitely never saw that coming. It was completely unexpected. But the point is, what I wanted to say is, there is Copa America. It's more entertainment to keep people home. I mean, the ones that obey to the laws, to the rules, right? It's an opportunity for
Right.
you to be home, for you to be entertained, right? Because you're gonna watch your favorite teams playing or your favorite squads in the comfort of your house. Keep a distance. Don't go to the stadiums. We have police for this to stop this from happening. I don't see myself against the hosting of the championship for that reason, Tony. How about you? What do you think?
Yeah, if everybody is sensible, then there should be no difference between the Copa America taking place in Brazil in the same line as the state championships, the Brazilian Championship, and the Copa Libertadores games that get played. People just need to think about the bigger picture here. Yes,
Uh,
we have the virus,
mhm.
but we need to be sensible. We need to keep our distance from people.
Yes.
And I'm not sure what it's. Obviously, it might change between states there in Brazil, but here in England, we're still being told to wear masks. Keep a distance of 2 meters between each other, even
The
though
measures
yeah,
the measures go on, Tony.
sure,
Those safety measures are
and
still being practiced, being
perfect,
imposed to the population. And São
perfect.
Paulo, I don't know if you are aware of this, my friend. São Paulo has decided not to host, not to receive any games of Copa America. But then again, I believe it's more because of a political dispute, competition between Jair Bolsonaro and João Dória. You know, João Dória is a president
Uh,
wannabe. You know that, right?
I understand. Yeah, yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. Mhm. So São
Wow.
Paulo is
So
not
yeah,
gonna go on, go on.
so so they're not going to host the games, but I believe there's only five stadiums that have been selected for the tournament, um,
Mhm.
and that I think that causes some other issues because even though the Copa America is going to be taking place in Brazil,
Mhm.
the Brazilian Championship will still continue.
It's not
So,
stopping during this period.
no, from my understanding, I don't think it is. So, for example, if there's games going to be taking place in Rio at the Maracana, then
Mm.
Flamengo and Fluminense will have some issues of where they're going to play their games.
Yeah, they cannot happen on the same day. Yeah, Flamengo and Fluminense and other teams will have a problem. I have here, Tony, the stadiums that have been chosen. I'm gonna tell you, in case you haven't heard
Okay,
about Mané Garrincha, which is in the
okay,
capital, Brasilia, Newton
Brazilian, yeah.
Santos in Rio, and then we have one called Arena Pantanal in Cuiabá. Cuiabá is Mato Grosso, my friend. Okay,
Mato
it's
Grosso, yeah. Okay,
yeah, the center east region of the country. And then we have Olímpico, which is in Goiânia.
mhm,
Okay, I think Goiás plays there a lot. And Maracanã,
yeah.
which will be the final stadium, the stadium for the final match.
Okay, okay, okay. Very
So yeah,
interesting.
no São Paulo in the game there.
And
And what
what
is
is
your
your
perspective?
perspective?
Have
Have
you
you
been
been
following
following
the other
the
teams,
team?
man? Do you
You
know
know
if
if
they're
they're
coming
coming
strong into this competition? Do you
competition?
have any
Do you have
other
any other
information
information
other
other
than
than
just
just
knowing
knowing
about
about
Brazil?
Brazil? Well, I I'm trying to remember that normally with the Copa America, there's an invitation sent. So I believe there might have been an invitation sent to the next World Cup host, which is Qatar.
Hmm.
Um, but the World Cup qualifiers are taking place at the moment, so I checked out some of the results from
Hmm.
yesterday's games. So I know Colombia um, are coming. I think they beat Peru by 3 goals to 0. Yes, yesterday, um,
Hmm.
which was surprising because Peru were the finalists of the last final.
Hmm.
Uh, and who Brazil beat in the final. Surprised that they're not having a very good qualifying tournament for the World Cup. Um,
Hmm.
Argentina are in second place in the World Cup qualifying group, just below Brazil, and
Hmm.
it should be interesting with them. But I always feel with Argentina that they rely heavily on Messi,
Yes,
and
that's true.
I I just I just never feel that they're a team that can reach a final and win, just because of the way they build up play is always revolving around Messi. And when I remember watching Argentina and Brazil play, for Brazil, we always have a very good game against Argentina, and we can manage to control Messi as much as possible. And
Hmm.
that happened in the last tournament in 2019. So
Okay,
I'm not too worried about any of the other teams.
that's
I,
good.
I think I think Ecuador, who are in third place at the moment, they've they've won their last four games, I think, and drawn one game out of five. So I think they have a very good record in the last five games, basically. So
Hmm.
it'll be interesting to see how they play. But it's a knockout tournament, so strange things can happen. As long as
Yeah.
Brazil get to the final and win, then I'm
Yes.
happy.
Yes. Soccer is a box full of surprises, as we say here, right?
Definitely.
You can be the best team, and the odds can happen, and then you lose a game for a smaller one. So I think everything is possible when you're playing soccer. You just have to respect the other and play your best. But Tony, I have just made a fool out of myself, man. Just
Go on.
realized it. What is gonna take place tonight is not Copa America, it's qualifiers.
That's right. It's a World Cup
Jesus
qualifier. Yeah.
Christ, man. And I have been announcing to the everywhere that it was Copa America, my friend. Oh my goodness. Now I have to go to my Instagram and say, hey guys, I'm very well informed.
Okay. Don't worry.
I made
These
it.
things happen.
On my defense, guys, I've been working hard, so I really thought it was Copa America tonight. So no, silly me. This is qualifiers. It's a game against Ecuador, right? For the
That's right.
qualifiers, it's the first game of Brazil in the qualifiers, right, Tony?
No, no. This is the. I think this is the sixth game. So
The
they've
sixth
played
game
five games.
already.
They've played five games so far, and Brazil are currently top of the table. Having no, they played four games, I think. Sorry, and
Hmm.
Brazil are top of the table, having won them all.
Okay. Let me check the ranking now for the qualifiers at the moment.
Sure. So there was some games played last night. Um, yeah,
Brazil
so
is in first,
Brazil,
right? And then,
that's
as
right.
you said, Ecuador is in the third place. Argentina is in second. Then we have Paraguay and Uruguay.
Yeah,
And then we have the others. Wow, Peru is on the 10th position, my friend.
yeah, they're doing terrible.
Yeah, like there have been no wins so far.
No, no. Um,
Wow.
Uruguay drew um, last night as well. So these are teams that you'd expect to do well. Uruguay, Argentina, um, but
Even
they
Paraguay.
keep dropping some points. Even yeah, definitely even Paraguay.
Hmm.
So they drew with Uruguay last night.
And Chile
And
is
Chile is
also a
also a
strong
strong
team.
team.
Like
Like
it
it
hasn't
hasn't
been
been
long since
since
the
the
last
last
time
time
they
they
won
won
Copa America, man.
They
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 were,
are
here
here
on the
on
they,
the
seventh
seventh
position.
position.
yeah, and I think maybe the team is getting old. The players
Yeah.
are getting older, um,
Hmm.
and they're relying too much on the stars
On the
On the
of
same,
the
same,
past few years.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, man. It's
it's
like
like
as
as
if
if
we
we
were
were
playing
playing
with
with
Romário
Romario
up
up
until
until
today,
today.
right?
Right?
Definitely. Oh, that would be great.
Hey, who's gonna play? The victorious team of 1994.
Four.
So we
So we
have
have
Tafarel in
Tafarel
the
in the
goal,
goal.
Tafarel,
Dunga
yeah.
midfield.
Mauro Silva, yeah. Midfield. Um, Zinho played.
Yeah,
Raí played. Socrates' younger
yeah.
brother.
Márcio Santos,
Bebeto.
Bebeto. I
Yeah.
don't know if you remember Bebeto. Branco.
I do remember Bebeto, and especially Branco,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh,
Roberto
Roberto
some great
Carlos.
Carlos.
players. Yeah.
I
I
hope
hope
I
And
hope the Chileans listening to
listening
this
to this
podcast
podcast
don't
don't.
hate me.
yeah,
Oh
Oh
my
my
goodness.
goodness.
definitely. But it'll be
Sorry, you were
interesting to
saying.
see the. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We've just talked about the squad from 1994, but um, some good news for me is that Brazil are starting with Gabriel Barbosa tonight against Ecuador. So that's
Okay.
something I've been waiting a long time to see
Gabigol,
a
right?
change. Gabigol, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
because
good
you
to
are a
see a change.
Flamenguista, my friend. For those who don't know,
Yeah,
Tony is a Flamenguista roxo, as we say in Portuguese. He's a Flamengo freak
definitely.
in English.
Oh yeah, definitely. So
He
I've
He
loves
loves
waited
his
a
his
long
team.
team.
time for this. Yeah, and just
So, what
following
is the
the.
score for tonight?
Oh,
What is the score?
I think I think it will be quite quite a difficult game because of the way Ecuador have been playing. But we have, well, Brazil have good history over Ecuador. I think we've only lost twice. Um, so I
Yes,
think
and none of
Brazil
this I
will win.
remember.
Don't worry. I think
I
Brazil
don't
will
remember
win.
any games losing to Ecuador, man. Believe me.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. We'll have to go back a long time. We'll have to go back a long
Yeah,
time for that.
probably.
But I think Brazil will win by 2 goals. Make it 2-0.
That's
That's
a
a
very
very
I,
modest
modest
guess,
guess,
my
my
friend.
friend.
I think 2 goals will be enough, but we'll control the game. We'll keep possession of the ball and
Hmm.
basically take control and score 2 goals, maybe three.
Hmm.
But I'll be happy with 2 goals.
You're saying that because usually the coach uses the game to study the way that the team is gonna play to test some players. Is that true?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
right. But it'll be
Hmm.
interesting because you asked me earlier on if I've been keeping up to date with some of the news there in Brazil, and I've been reading about some of the Brazilian players are not happy of the Copa America taking place. They want it to be postponed as well.
Oh, I read
So,
about it before starting the broadcast here, my friend.
so I'm not sure which of the players is happy, but I think the coach came out and said, that
I think
he
most
thinks the
players,
Brazilian Federation. Mhm.
as far as I know,
No.
I think most players are unhappy, and the reason is they are in the middle of a few championships, right, for their
The
clubs.
clubs.
Yeah,
And
that's
Copa
right.
America is not as important, they said this, it's not as important as the games they have been playing. with their teams. So this was something that could wait, you know?
Yeah, I think it's a valid concern because um, I mean I can talk for Flamengo and they have some
It's a
important
long
games in
preparation,
the
oh, Tony.
yeah, they have important games coming up in the Brazilian Championship. They're also in the round of 16 in the Libertadores, as are Sao Paulo. I believe that's your team. So
Mm,
you know these are things, and when you have players with a national team, obviously they're not able to return to their own clubs for the whole of the tournament. It's going to be very difficult.
mm, that's true. And the way I see is that the clubs they invest too much on the preparation for one specific championship. When you have things that are surprising like this, you just break the whole program, the whole
Yeah,
planning of the club, right?
yeah, yeah. And
As a Flamenguista,
I
I
think
don't think you're happy.
well, it's always difficult. I mean, it's I'm happy that the Seleção have quite a few from Flamengo players chosen for the squad, but
Mm.
then I'm also worried about how will the team perform if these players continue in the Copa America,
Yeah.
you know, and it's I'm sure every Flamenguista wants the team to do well in the Libertadores. You know, we've been
Mm.
playing well. We've got to the round of 16, and there's some good games ahead. Um,
Mm.
it would be very disappointing if the team were to lose because of the Copa America taking place. You know, and I don't think it's the club's fault. I think it's more something that the Brazilian Federation need to really look at. I've been talking about this for many years now. Is that whenever there's important games for the national team, um, the Brazilian Championship doesn't pause. You know, whereas in Europe, if there's international games, then the European Championships in whichever country they always have a break for that 1 week for the international game to be played. Um,
But I think
I
here's the
understand.
same, Tony. When Brazil is playing, I believe the other championships stop, man. I just
Yeah,
don't understand why this is not happening this time around. Because usually, when Brazil is playing, I don't know if I am mistaken. Okay, I could be just thinking about
mhm.
World Cup, but I don't remember having club games and seleção at the same time.
Yeah, it's something I'll have to look back on. But yeah, there's been some times when I mean I can remember there's been an important Flamengo game the day
Mm.
after the national team have played, um,
Mm.
and it's very difficult for a player to obviously and sometimes some of the games for the national team have been played in Europe, so it's difficult for that player to then take a long distance flight back
Oh
to
yeah,
Brazil
definitely,
and
definitely.
then play for his team. But um,
Mm.
hopefully, there's not too much disruption,
Yeah.
and things work out for all the teams. I mean, I'm not just talking about Flamengo here because I want the Brazilian Championship to be really
Mm. Of
entertaining.
course.
I enjoy watching all the highlights. I am looking forward to the Copa America. I
Mm.
just don't want the Brazilian Championship or the Libertadores to suffer because of the Copa America. Um,
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
but
Take a look.
but I'm also happy. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Go on, go on, go on.
But I was also going to say that on on the other side of the coin, I'm excited to watch the national team play. It's the Copa
Mm-hmm.
America. It's a
Mm-hmm.
major tournament, and it would be good for the team to develop more before the World Cup next year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We
We
were
were
talking
talking
about
about
the
the
retrospect
retrospect
of
of
Brazil
Brazil
versus
versus
Ecuador.
Ecuador.
And I'd like to read
Yeah.
for you a few things here
Before
before
we
we
finish,
finish,
okay?
okay?
Just
Just
Okay.
reminding
reminding
you
you
guys
guys
how
how
stupid
stupid
I
I
was.
was.
I
I
said
said
it
it
was
was
Copa
Copa
America
America
tonight.
tonight.
Forget
Forget
what
what
I
I
said.
said.
It's
It's
qualifiers,
qualifiers,
okay?
okay?
I
I
will
will
have
have
to
to
go
go
to
to
my
my
Instagram.
Instagram and fix my mistake. But anyways, take a look. There has been so far 32 games, okay, Brazil versus Ecuador.
26
26
victories
victories
to
to
Brazil,
Brazil, 4 ties.
2 losses. You
You
were
were
correct,
correct,
man.
man.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You
You
are
are
a
a
soccer
soccer
encyclopedia.
encyclopedia.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
So,
So,
two
two
Do you know?
losses.
losses.
Do you know when those losses were?
Tell me.
I
I
think
think
you will
you
know.
know. I can
I,
see
I
here,
think
but let's. Uh,
I think one was, so it was just before I traveled to it was just before I traveled to Brazil in 2001. So I'm sure there was one game there, but I can't remember the other one.
yeah, it says here qualifiers of 2002. So yes, 2001.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And
And
the
the
Right.
other
other
one,
one,
it
it
was
was
probably
probably
in
in
2005
2005
because
because
it
it
was
was
the
the
qualifiers
qualifiers
of
of
2006.
2006.
Ah, okay.
And then and
Okay.
then
Look
look
at
at
this,
this,
how
how
interesting
interesting
it
it
is.
is.
Goals
Goals
scored
scored
for
for
94.
94.
Wow.
94 goals for Brazil. Goals
Okay.
suffered 22.
Wow.
And then you have biggest victory Brazil 9, Ecuador 1.
What?
This was
When was
the
that?
South.
The game was the South American Championship in 1949.
Okay.
1949. So
It
it
Oh
was
was 9 versus 1.
well, 9-1. Yeah. Well, I was just going to say 1949, 1950. The Brazilian team was incredible. Um,
Yes.
I don't
Know
know how
how
they
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 lost
lost
to
to
Uruguay.
Uruguay.
I, let's not talk about that one game, but the other games in the
Yeah, no.
tournament. Oh
Yeah.
wow! Some of the score lines were very similar: 9-1, 6-1, five
What was
one.
all,
You know,
Always
always
goleadas,
goleadas,
we
we
say
say
in
in
Portuguese.
Portuguese.
How
How
do
do
you
you
say
say
that
that
in
in
English,
English,
Tony?
Tony? When it's a game with
um,
a lot of goals, is there any name
For
for
this?
this?
Because
Because
in
in
Portuguese
Portuguese
we
we
say
say
foi
foi
uma
uma
goleada.
goleada.
yeah, I don't think there's any word like that. Uh, oh well, yeah, you could say it's a route.
Route.
T.
ROUTE. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, got
So
it. Route. Okay.
So
So
Tony,
Tony,
yeah,
here,
it's a goal.
the
the
biggest
biggest
the biggest
biggest
loss
loss
Brazil
Brazil
suffered
suffered
to
to
Ecuador.
Ecuador,
1-0.
1-0.
They must have been lucky.
The games were the same we have just mentioned for 2002 and for
Yeah.
2006. Oh my God! If you guys are watching me on YouTube, I just dropped the camera. Sorry, but
Okay.
anyways, 2002 and 2006, right? And it was 1-0. That's the biggest loss. And the last game was Brazil 2, Ecuador 0.
The qualifiers
Qualifiers
for
for
the
the
World
World
Cup
Cup
2018.
2018.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that World Cup qualifier. So the first loss, which was in 2001 for the 2002 World Cup. I I remember watching the World Cup qualifiers, and Brazil were really struggling to qualify. And I think it was after the Ecuador game that
Uh,
Scolari took over the team,
mm,
and then look what happened. They went on to qualify, and
and they
they
won.
won the World Cup. Yeah.
Yes. Scolari is amazing.
So,
He was very much criticized during some because Brazilians are very demanding when it comes to their soccer team, you know. So they
yeah,
don't accept nothing less than perfection. So
me
the
too.
coaches in Brazil suffer. The coaches suffer a lot. You follow our championships, you know.
Yeah,
The first
yeah,
that you fall is always the coach, always.
yeah, yeah. I
So my
understand that.
friend, thank you very much for participating, for being part of this podcast, this episode number 5 today. So we have a dobradinha, as we say in Portuguese, when you participate twice in a row. So we have had
Wow.
a dobradinha with Toni Moreno.
What an honor. Thank you so
Thank you so
much
much
for
for
your
your
participation.
participation.
I'd
I'd
like
like
to
to
give
give
you
you
the opportunity
the
to announce what is
to
going to
announce what is
happen
going to happen
tonight,
tonight,
Tony.
Tony. Can you tell us? Can you tell the listeners right now and the viewers what do we have
For the-
tonight, my friend?
Oh, tonight we have
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to be joining you again, and we are making a video whilst watching Brazil against Ecuador. Definitely not to be missed.
Exactly.
Exactly, guys. If you don't know, Tony has a channel on YouTube called
Called
Flamengo
Flamengo
Fanático,
Fanático,
right?
right?
That's right.
Okay, Flamengo Fanático. Just search for him there.
He's remember
Remember
again,
again, he's a British guy who follows Flamengo and Seleção Brasileira ever since he was a little kid. So this guy has more jerseys, more T-shirts in his wardrobe than the Seleção Brasileira itself.
You can be sure.
Probably.
So
probably.
we're gonna have a collab
Collab.
tonight. We're gonna have a collaboration
Have a
on our
collaboration
channels.
on our channels.
The video will be about commenting the soccer game tonight,
Brazil versus
Ecuador,
Ecuador, and it will be released on both the channels, right, Tony?
Definitely, it sure will.
So keep an eye
on my channel, Brazil Subtitled, and also
Flamengo Fanático.
and also the Instagram, Tony. I never remember.
Flamengo Fanático React.
The
Is that-
Instagram is no, the Instagram is Flanatico.
Flanatico React, yes. So
Yeah.
at Flanatico React, you can find Tony there. And mine is at Brazil Unsubtitled, Brazil.unsubtitled. Then you can find me there. Tony, thank you so much. See you soon, my friend.
Muito obrigado, Mark, and I'll see you later.
Bye-bye, man.
Ciao.
Guys, thank you very much for listening to one more episode of
Brazil Subtitled.
Titled. It was a pleasure having you there. And keep an eye on
our
channel because we are now releasing 2 videos per week. Okay, on Mondays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Brazilian time. And
Every Friday we have an
an
appointment
appointment with
the podcast. Thank you very
Pretty
much.
much this week we're gonna have one bonus video that will probably be released tomorrow, Saturday or Sunday, I don't know. But you're gonna have a bonus video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.